Hey guys, I welcome you all to StudyIQ. In this video, we shall talk about the oxytocin hormone, its harmful effects, and why the government of India recently banned the imports of the oxytocin hormone in India. So a lot to know, a lot to discuss. Let's start. But before starting, if you are preparing for any examination like SSC, Bank, RBI, Grade B, UPSC, or any state PCS exam, then StudyIQ is with you. Our pen drive and tablet courses give you the luxury of studying from your home or wherever you want. So visit StudyIQ.com, order the course of your choice, start studying at home or any other place you deem fit. And you will also find a lot of amazing study material on StudyIQ.com for free. So visit StudyIQ.com, check out our courses, and you can also call these numbers for more information. So as you can see this article of the Hindu newspaper, government bans imports of hormone oxytocin. Now let's understand what hormone oxytocin is before we understand why was it banned in India. Look, oxytocin is often called the love hormone. Of course, it isn't really called the love hormone in textbooks. This is what people usually refer to it as, because oxytocin is released naturally in human beings during sexual intercourse, childbirth, and even breastfeeding. Oxytocin is a hormone that is made in the brain, in the human brain, in the hypothalamus region. It is then transported and secreted by the pituitary gland. Alright, this is a very important part. Oxytocin hormone itself is not a milk producing hormone. It gives the body signal that now it is time to produce milk. And this hormone was first discovered by Henry Dale in the year 1906. Now I want you all to observe this photo right here. This is the human brain. In the middle of the human brain, you will find this small pea-sized thing. This right here, this is called the pituitary gland inside the human brain. This is the thing that secretes oxytocin hormone in the body and gives the body the signal that it is now time to release the breast milk or whatever the body needs to do at that certain time. Now right above the pituitary gland, you will find the hypothalamus. This is the region where oxytocin is created. Above that, you will find the cerebellum, and below this, below the pituitary gland, actually very near the pituitary gland, you will find the cerebellum. Alright, just remember these things, they might be asked in the examination. Now, listen carefully. Oxytocin is a hormone secreted by the pituitary gland. It plays a role in reproduction, childbirth, and lactation, as well as social interaction. And now allow me to explain. Whenever two aesthetically pleasing people meet, chances are that their body will start secreting oxytocin. When oxytocin is secreted in the human body feels good, and this is usually how people feel attracted when they see an aesthetically pleasing person. Well, either way, it plays a very important role in social interaction, and it is very much responsible for the attraction between a male and a female. Now, oxytocin is used both by humans and animals to accelerate normal labor, that is the process of giving birth to a newborn. It is supposed to act directly on the uterus to induce rhythmic contractions so that the delivery can go through rather easily. In certain animals, especially farm animals, it is used to achieve milk letdown. A lot of times you must have seen on National Geographic or Discovery that whenever the farmer requires to milk the cow, he brings the calf near the cow, and whenever the calf gets too close to the cow's brain starts secreting the oxytocin hormone. And when the oxytocin hormone is secreted, the body of the cow gets the signal that it is now time to release the milk, and that's when the farmer comes in and he starts milking the cow. So this is the process. Of course, in today's industrialized world, the practice has radically changed, but of course in rural areas it is still very much the same. In the last few decades, medical science understood that oxytocin hormone can be created artificially as well, and if we inject oxytocin hormone in mothers who are into labors or yet to become mothers who are in labor, then of course their delivery process will become a lot easier. So oxytocin was started to be used for pregnant women to make the delivery process rather easy. But whenever something is created for good, people find ways to use it for evil as well. Unfortunately, oxytocin is being used blindly by farmers in developing countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and South American countries and African countries. Living in villages, for milk letdown in their animals without knowing its harmful effects on the animals. So what they do is, a lot of farmers in India, they inject oxytocin hormone in their cattle, and when they do that, it increases the milk production in the respective cattle to a large extent, because when the oxytocin is injected directly, they don't really need to bring the calf near the cattle and wait for it to produce milk. They can just inject oxytocin and suddenly the cow will start producing the milk. Of course, it is very bad for the cattle because it will shorten its lifespan. It will also be very bad for the cattle's uterus. It will be very painful for the cattle, and overall in the long run the cow owner will suffer. For the short term, of course, he will gain by getting more milk, but in the long run he has a chance of losing his cattle. So farmers are using oxytocin injection before milking almost twice a day in cattle and buffaloes for this purpose. The purpose of using oxytocin injection in their animals by farmers is to get more milk and hence to get more profit after selling more milk to people, but they don't know its harmful effects on animals. Now, oxytocin is used in animals and human beings as well. Now, how is it used in human beings? You might get quite depressed after knowing this, but as you know, in India, child trafficking is a very ugly truth. A lot of children every single year get trapped in this ugly web of child trafficking, and a lot of times their captors, the captors of the children, what they do is they inject oxytocin hormone inside those little kids so that they reach puberty earlier and they can be thrown into prostitution. That is correct. We do indeed live in a very ugly world, a beautiful and a very ugly world. It has both sides. So this is something that we should really focus on, because not just animals, human beings are suffering as well because of the harmful misuse of oxytocin hormone. Of course, it has its good uses as well. It is used in various hospitals for pregnant women, but when it is misused, the effects can be catastrophic and just plain brutal. Now in 2014, the Indian government decided to make sure that this hormonal drug cannot be easily bought by just about anyone. The government made sure that in order to buy this hormonal drug, one needs a proper prescription. But even then, we have not been able to curb the illegal sales of this hormonal drug, and we do not know to what extent this drug is imported in India as well. Now, even the Drug Technical Advisory Board in 2018, February month, recommended import ban of oxytocin because we were importing oxytocin hormonal drug in a large quantity. Now, it is also recommended that sale be limited to registered government hospitals and clinics, and barcode system should be used on all forms of drug to ensure tracking and prevent the abuse. So this is why finally in 2018, the Union government decided to ban the imports of the hormone oxytocin to stop its misuse in the livestock industry and of course the little kids that are trapped in the web of child trafficking. The drug's abuse in animals shorten their lives and makes them barren. Now this was a statement of India's Women and Child Development Minister Menka Gandhi ji. And in 2016, you guys should know about that as well, we introduced new anti-trafficking laws where 10-year jail and there was a 1-year rupee fine as well for injecting minors with hormones so that they reach puberty early. Now this is a huge issue in India, and definitely anyone who gets to know about this will probably feel sick to their stomach to know how kids are being treated by these monsters. So hopefully after there has been a curb on the sale of oxytocin hormone and the import of this hormone, we will see a decrease in this injection of hormones in minors. So anyway, on this rather somewhat positive note, somewhat hopeful note, let's end this video. Thanks for listening. God bless you all.